Okay. Okay, so I think we're live. Okay, yeah, we should be live now. Um, just let me double check the. Yeah, okay. It's on. Okay, that's the thumbnail for some reason. Let's just wait for some people to come in. Can I change the thumbnail, actually? Oh, there's some people. Hello! Hi! Welcome, welcome to the stream. Okay, awesome. This is happening. Okay, so as people roll in, I'm actually going to be reading some of the first questions that I got on the announcement video itself before I take them down. So, let's see. Um, First comment. Okay, I'm just gonna answer this here. I've gotten quite a few comments asking about a season two. I'm. It's not a guarantee, but it's a possibility. We didn't make the goal for votes, but I may go through with it. But because I'm actually in my last year of high school right now and graduating soon, and then entering college, so if anything, if I'm gonna make a season two, it's probably not gonna be for a little while, um, because of the stuff I have to deal with up until then. So maybe in a year I'll think about it or so. Uh, all right, next question. Um, who are you rooting for in TOT? Uh, not. I don't think I was rooting for anyone specifically. Um, I not that I can remember, but I think I did kind of like Flask a lot when I was first working on it. Outlet, I think later on was kind of more what I was going for, but um, yeah. Okay. Will you ever make another object show that's not monthly? That was actually an idea that I had for season two, if I did make one, and that because the monthly object show thing was mostly a challenge that I wanted to give myself based on the original BFDI, obviously. And I managed to do it, not without stress, of course, but I managed to do it, and I finished an object show, and that's an achievement in itself for me, because I this is the first object show I've ever finished. Okay, now on to the live questions. All right, moving over to the chat here. Okay. Okay, are there scrap characters or challenges that you originally planned for the show? Actually, yeah, there were there were some characters, I think only two or three, that I was gonna have in the show originally, but I never had. They're in my old drawing book. Um. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me change one of my stream settings. Sorry, I'll keep talking while I'm editing this, but like Hourglass was originally not going to be the host of the show. It was originally going to be, oh, I don't think I can change the bit rate. Oh, crap. Okay, that's fine, I think. It's not, but whatever. Um, okay. But yeah, Hourglass was originally not supposed to be the host of the show. Originally, it was going to be a character named Trophy, or something along those lines. And I had a design on paper for what I was going to do. Um, and I decided that the design was going to be a bit difficult to actually make into a character. So I decided that instead I was going to come up with something else, and I came up with Hourglass. And then when it comes to contestants, there were two contestants that I made that I feel like didn't really fit. Um, which were one of them was kiosk, like one of those like kiosks that you see at like a McDonald's, for example. And then another one was like a lamp, like one of those like tall standing lamps, not a desk one. But those I crossed out in like the very early planning stage, and they never made it into anything. Let's see. RC is gonna be a thing. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, are they gonna be like a canon part of the show? Because I've had recommended characters throughout um throughout the show. I've tried my best to put a lot of them in. Um, but due to time, I haven't been able to put all of them in. I still have a lot of recommended characters I wasn't able to put in. So I don't know exactly what you're asking. Then what will you do for now? I'm gonna be posting mostly like behind the scenes stuff and extra content. Over the next year, I do have a bunch of stuff planned out, like I made in the community post earlier. So that's gonna be my idea for that. También los episodios van a tener subtítulos. Um, I'm gonna answer in English, because it's easier for me. Uh, Eventually, I hope to get people to like. I'm gonna eventually put out a video. It's I don't think it's not concrete yet, but I have an idea that I'll get some of you guys to contribute to the show through like adding in your own subtitles in your own native languages, to make the show more accessible to people. And but I need to really like properly figure out how I set that up. So potentially in the future there will be more subtitles for um, in other languages for the rest of the show. But I still need to finish the English subtitles. I'm still working on all that. Will I be a voice actor in season 2? Uh, if it happens, you're definitely in consideration. Because working with people has never really been a strong suit of mine when it came to this. I had another object show on one of my old YouTube channels that never really went anywhere because of like a whole process thing. It took until this object show for me to like actually figure out the right way to work with other people. Like I mostly reached out to my online friends to do like guest voicing in most of the thing, but for me it was easier for me to just do all the voices. But I will definitely like consider that. If you were to do season 2, how many contestants would there be, and would it change the channel name? Okay, to answer the first part, I think this is. Let me open up a document here. I have a document where I actually was planning out what I wanted to actually do, like ideas for a season 2 were I to do one. Let me just search this in. An idea I had was for 24 contestants, but that is kind of a big jump, and I'd have to get a lot more people on because there's so many voices I can do, and also maybe get more people on the team. But it's just an idea. It's not gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be 24 if I do one. All right. How hard was Trials of 12 to animate when you were starting? It wasn't. I mean, most of the difficulty really came in like trying to manage the animation in the middle of school. It was it wasn't too hard because I was a little bit used to the animation style, but I was definitely still working on like getting better at animation because I've had a little bit of animation experience before, but this was like my first real big animation project. So at first, I guess the one thing that did make it a little bit more difficult is that I first started animating on my school computer because it was the easiest way to do it, and I had a lot more. I felt like working on it more when I was in class than when I was at home. So like the first 6 episodes were animated on like a school computer. What's your favorite contestant? That is not an easy question because I I like a lot of the characters. I feel like some of them definitely I could have developed more had they not been eliminated so early. Like floppy disk, even though even though I killed her off, floppy disk I feel like definitely I actually did have a plan for floppy disk throughout the show, and then literally within like a day of the second episode going live, it was clear that Floppy was gonna go so soon. So I'm like, oh, all right, I gotta rewrite this. But I don't really have a favorite character necessarily. Just I kind of liked um, I kind of liked Piston Flask and Outlet, that whole alliance thing. Notepad I kind of liked as well. Um, all right. In season two, will you expand on Piston's new quote unquote villain arc and maybe create some kind of alliance? And will you expand on the abandoned school? I have not actually planned out what I was gonna do with Piston in the future because she's not dead, of course. She's not dead. She's just in an alternate dimension, which characters can be brought back from, as is has been seen with Cassette from like back in episode 4 or 5. But I'm definitely, if when I start planning a season 2, if that happens, then I'll probably expand on that. And the abandoned school, I've hidden a lot of lore into it, but I've never really been good at writing that, so I don't know how easy some of that is to pick up or how hard it is to figure out. So I hope that some of that can be definitely like adding on to that for a next season if that happens. How much old characters will come back? I think that also has to. Let me go back to my document because I closed it. I did kind of have ideas of how many characters that I would bring back. Let's see. Okay, the document's not formatted at all. Thanks, switching to Android. Okay, here we go. Definitely was gonna be bringing back most of the cast, at least who's alive and present. At least that was this was written in my document like before I planned a lot of this stuff out because I wrote this maybe back in August or September. And I planned on some other things too for the cast. All right, let's see here. In season 2, can you consider adding Purple Bird to the contestants and have me voice act him? Maybe. I'll see. Again, there's been only ideas of what a season 2 would be should it happen, because again, it's not a guarantee, but it's just ideas for now. Do you plan to have arcs in Trials 12 like BFB, or do you just want to write normal episodes? I'm very self-critical about my writing, so I don't actually know how well I've written Trials of 12 so far. I definitely need help with writing, or at least like or some kind of assistance with that. But I'll probably go for someone who's like trusted for that. Because I figure like, a friend would be better to call for that. Do you consider me your biggest fan and a contributor to your community? I don't know how to answer that question, honestly. I don't mean to sound rude. I just don't know how to answer that question. Because I remember I have seen you a lot throughout the show, like throughout the comments section. Yeah, I don't know how to answer the question. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound rude. I just don't know what to say. I want to be different. So, who's your favorite BFDI character in season? Ooh, I think historically, as generic as it sounds, at least to me, Fiery was probably my favorite for a while. But I've been a fan of BFDI for ages, So trying to actually get a favorite character, I have to really like go back into the memory archives to really remember. But I think Fiery was definitely one of my favorites for a while, or for a long time. And the season, probably the original. I've binged it many times over quite a few years. So that's probably my favorite one. I did kind of like BFDIA. I still have yet to watch some of the newer episodes. But I got to get around to doing that. And then IDFB is like not really happened. And then BFB, not my favorite, but I liked it too. All right, let's see. Will there be one of those recommend to join season 2? I'm assuming you mean like the recommend characters. That was another thing I have in my ideas document, where I will be including recommended characters, but I just need like a proper way to figure out who to put in exactly. But nothing's fully planned out. It was just also just like recommended characters. That'll be fun to put in. Did I influence your choice to have the British character win TOT? No, it was just kind of like, um, it was just like, I forgot what my thought process was behind me picking Tube TV to win. It was most like Outlet and Tube TV, maybe. I don't know, but I don't remember my exact thought process, but it was something else. Do you plan to switch to a hand-drawn style like OBC, or you're planning to stick with the style? I'm probably planning to stick with the style for a while. It's what I'm used to, and the hand-drawn style is not as easy for me. Like, I don't actually know how to do that style, really. Okay, I keep getting warnings that the stream bitrate is pretty low, but I hope that it's not actually like bad right now. Actually, let me go onto the channel real quick and see how the stream is doing. Okay, yeah, no, the stream is doing okay. All right, back to questions. Do you have a Discord server? Nope, I do not have a Discord server. I've not owned one in a very long time. I don't plan to have an official one. But I'm okay with people making unofficial servers if they want to do that. I don't really care. Do what you want. But yeah, there's not going to be an official one. All right. If you make a season 2, can it be like BFDIA? I don't know what exactly you mean by that. I do want to try and be as original as possible, but we'll see how a season 2 goes if that happens. How many contestants? I answered that question a bit ago. One of my ideas was 24. Yeah, well, you have a meme character in season 2. I didn't know that those characters were considered meme characters, but I don't know. Can you make a Discord server? Okay, yeah, I said that. Will you make a reboot of your own object shows? I actually had some kind of idea like that. Actually, from my old object show, after like a lot of plans didn't go through with completing it, and this was a show I made in 2020 that I started in 2020, but an episode 2 didn't come out for a while, and then I ended up giving myself an option of like either try to keep going with it, cancel it entirely, or cancel it and start a new one. And very clearly that Trials of 12 is a thing. You can tell which option I went with. Face reveal coming? Maybe in some time. My face is already on the internet, but like under different names. So I'd prefer if people like didn't share those, because I want to do it on my own time. But maybe not for a while on this channel at least. Do you ever feel pressured to push out episodes? I mean, I kind of pressured myself with giving myself the such tight deadlines, but if I hadn't done that, if I just lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. But yeah, if I hadn't done the monthly deadlines, I probably wouldn't have gotten anything out on a consistent schedule. It was mostly the pressure with school. I'm sorry, but can you please stop spamming the chat with when season 2? I did answer this question earlier, but like, please. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that for right now. I'm sorry. Joke character. Like, okay, sorry. But yeah, there was never really a pressure from the viewers, or really the schedule was just kind of a thing to keep myself on my toes. It was mostly just pressure to continue with school and everything going on. Favorite cheese? Nothing specific. What movie do you like out of these five? Toy Story, Barnyard, Shrek, Cats Don't Dance, or Taken. I've only watched Toy Story. Sorry, I've only watched Toy Story and Shrek. I've been meaning to watch Cats Don't Dance, but I haven't gotten around to it, and I haven't watched Barnyard or Taken. Um, Probably Toy Story because I used to be obsessed with that when I was younger. Do you have any plans of making YouTube Shorts? No, no, I'm not touching YouTube Shorts. Um, I very much do not like YouTube Shorts. Um, I'm probably not gonna touch that. Let's see. Notepad mentioned that Blueberry is the youngest between the contestants. So how old? I do actually have. I don't call them birthdays. I call them manufacture dates because that makes more sense. But I have a list of all the characters' manufacture dates, like their like canon ages. Let me just find it. I have it on a Google Doc here somewhere. But let's see. Damn it, where is it? There it is. So their ages as of the beginning of the show. I'll do it at the end of the show because it's all just plus one. So Hourglass is 36, Blueberry is 20, Cassette is 32, Digital Recorder is 31, Flask is 26, Floppy Disk is 32, Lemonade is 22, Notepad is also 22, Outlet is 24, Piston was 23. Actually no, Piston would still be 22. Toast is 20, not yet 21. Trash Bin would be 30, and then Tube TV is 34 now, I think. Yeah, I decided these like quite a while ago, so they are much older than they really seem like it. All right. Sorry, let me go back up here. Let's see. I have an idea. Why don't you show us the scrapped characters in a possible future episode in season 2, and they are trapped somewhere like the school? Maybe. I don't know if I'll work the scrapped characters into anything, but I'll see what I can do. Who's the best character? That is wholly subjective. Because even I don't know who I think like the best character in Trials of 12 is. That's mostly up to the viewer. Like it's very clear in the voting. Like some people were they loved Outlet. They wanted Outlet to win. They thought he was awesome. And then there were some people that hated Outlet and didn't like him. It's entirely subjective, so I can't really answer that question myself. What object show did you watch before you made Trials of 12? I watched a lot of object shows prior to making Trials of 12. I don't remember the one I watched immediately before making it. But I definitely watched like a lot of the big ones. Like I watched BFDI, BFDIA, Nanum Insanity 2, Brawl of the Objects, Extraordinarily Excellent Entities, and also the Object Show movie. I was way too young to watch that, honestly. Alright, let's see. Are you making my fan-made intro the official? Do you want me to make it better? I wanted to include that more as like an Easter egg because I wanted to be like, it's the final episode. I want to do something special, and I kind of my intro, the original intro was actually kind of shotgun together because I didn't even have an elimination intro for episode 3. I made it after episode 3 because I didn't know what to do for it. Sorry, let's see. What's your favorite object show? I think I answered my favorite season, BFDI. I don't know. Favorite object show. There's a lot of really good ones out there and a lot of really good ones I haven't watched, but I can't say if one is my favorite. Are you going to do a cartoon but BFDI? I think that is what I just did. Okay. Hello, Trials12. Hello, Startena. Who's going to be in season 2 and when will you make it? I've already answered that question. Favorite PPT2 character? I'm sorry, I don't know what PPT2 is. Question, will there be a Discord? Also, congrats on the winner of season 1. I know a majority knows who won, but I won't spoil it for those who are new to this amazing series. I did say this a bit earlier, but there won't be an official Discord server, but I am full on alright with people making their own unofficial ones if they want to. There's actually, I mean, similar to this topic, there's actually someone who ran an object show camp on the object show fandom wiki from earlier this year, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh, why does Hourglass not have anything in him? Um, I think that was. I don't know if that was for the simplicity of the character, or I thought it would just look better. There's no definitive answer as to why. It was just a choice that probably was overlooked back then, because I have not changed any of the character's assets except for Flask because of that one thing that happened in episode 9. I think it was episode 9, yeah. Um, is there anything you wish had gone differently with the show itself? I had a plan that was gonna go through with one of the characters. I had a plan from the get-go where I was gonna have the character kind of be like secretly working with Hourglass to win, make it to the very end, switch up on everyone because that's like that's not that's not that special. But then that character got eliminated very early on, so I'm like, oh, okay then, never mind. Who did you think would win? In the early time, in the early like earlier in the year, I honestly had no idea who would make it as far as I did. Definitely not Tube TV. I definitely didn't think Tube TV would win. I thought he would have gotten eliminated a long time ago, and that's actually kind of reflected in some of Tube TV's speech where he was like, "Oh, I didn't expect to get this far," because I genuinely didn't think he would make it as far as he did. I expected some characters like Flax to make it farther. Piston made it pretty far. That wasn't too surprising. But I thought Outlet would probably be close to winning. Where did I leave off on? Let's see. What would you do with floppy disk if they made it further? I duh, that would have depended on if they had stayed, because I really haven't thought about floppy disk much since she was eliminated. Um, I kind of I think I maybe I should have also planned out like a little bit more about the characters' personalities prior to the show, because I had something pretty basic that I went off of for the show. So, but can't remember if I planned on anything specific for floppy disk besides that she was actually the one that was supposed to work with Hourglass before she was eliminated first, which is pretty funny. Um, but that was really the only thing I really planned with floppy disk, and that was about it until that changed a month into the show. Let's see. What if you made Trials of 13 and not 12? Then it would probably go for another episode. I'm not sure. I made it 12 because I wanted the show to end after a year, and I wanted there to be a gap episode as well. So, I mean, that's why I picked 12 specifically. It's going to be season 2, potentially. Again, not guaranteed. Okay, I'm actually going to add a little bit of something on the screen here. Let me add... I put together a... Okay, this is going to like fill up the screen real quick. Ah, crap, where did I put that file? I put it here. Okay. Let me just... there we go. I just put together all the episodes into this little clip. Just gonna have it play out throughout the rest of the stream. All right. Sorry, I had to put that person on timeout for a minute because I'm really sorry, but it is kind of getting a bit annoying. The constant spam. Suggestion: if you do a season 2, don't do vote to save. I've done it, and 2 characters I like are out, and useless ones are in. I mean, I picked that method. I changed to that method like kind of in the middle of the show because I was talking to some people who knew a bit more about object shows, and they thought that voting method was a little bit better. And by my logic as well, I thought it was a bit better because with the vote to eliminate, it was more like more people vote for a character to stay. So like if like 10% of an episode's votes is for a specific character, then 90% of people did not want that character to stay in. I mean, did want that character to stay in and wanted someone else out. So then 90% of people would not be happy because this character got taken out. So I figure it would make the least people unhappy. Um, so I mean, that was my logic behind it as well, was the talking thing. But I guess it just depends as well. Can I recommend someone right now? If I mean, there's still recommended characters. I'd say leave that on the in the comments of one of the episodes, because that's more likely to stay there for a while. Oh, and I forgot to do that. Oh, actually, okay, I forgot to do something in this. Let me actually remove the thing, because there was something I forgot about that. Um, I'll think of something else to put in there in the meantime. Um, let's see. Um, okay, did you ever watch Numberjacks? No, I have not heard of that. Would there be a season 2? Possibly, not guaranteed. I might fill in that space with like a frequently asked question thing to make it a bit easier. So that, how do I add text to, this thing? Oh, here we go, text. Oh, how do I do center align? Okay, there we go. Alright, I'll be updating that if I get more frequent questions. Oops, save. Okay. Alright, back to questions. Let's see. I want to make an object show. Do you have any tips? Not myself. I'd say one of them is definitely pace yourself, because it, depending on how much time you have, definitely like decide how far apart you want your episodes to be. That's probably the biggest one. Don't burn yourself out. If you have a lot of free time, like Carrie and Michael did in the early days of BFDI, then I'd say maybe you can go for a more frequent upload schedule. And if you're gonna go, and if you don't have as much time, spread out your episodes a bit and add stuff in between, because especially with the YouTube algorithm nowadays, they want more frequent uploads. YouTube wants more frequent uploads. So I'd say upload stuff in between episodes. That will also keep viewers engaged, and also the YouTube algorithm promoting your channel. That's probably the best that I can give. There's a lot better advice out there. Like, I personally followed a lot of advice from like different people. I might have got. I also got a little bit of advice from Carey himself, because I actually worked with him on a project back in early 2020. So he definitely did give me a couple of tips about that. All right, let's see. Do you have a pet? No, not right now. I don't have any pets. Are you planning on uploading any shorts with the cast? No, I don't really like shorts. There's not really anything to gain from shorts. It's more like it's because shorts don't really help with with channel growth at all. Like, they're not actually. It's just YouTube's response to TikTok. There's no real point to it existing, and it takes away from the real meaning of YouTube, and that's mostly why I don't like it, and why I don't really plan on doing any shorts. Who do you think was gonna win, Remote Marker or Cake? What's that a reference to? Because it's like definitely a BFDI thing, but I don't actually know what that is. See, do you plan to work on other object shows when you finish Trials of 12? Maybe in the future. Like, I don't know. Like, if you mean like working alongside people to make another object show, or making my own one, but Maybe, like, I do know a couple of people like on online that are making object shows, but I don't think they really. I might work. I'm not sure. We'll see. Um, why did you choose the basic style and not the BFB teapot style? It's what I'm used to mostly. I learned to animate in that style, so I figured I'll go along with it. Um, because the drawing style is a bit different. I'm not that good at animation. So and I guess it's also a way to set myself apart because if you look at most every object show that's live right now in 2020s, almost all of them are in the BFB teapot style. So I guess it's a way to set myself apart as well. Is Piston stuck in the alternate dimension forever? I mentioned this like really early in the stream, so I wouldn't blame you for asking again. But potentially, she can come back. She can come back. She's not stuck there forever. But it's a possibility. Like Cassette was brought into the same dimension, but he was brought back. It's so it can happen. I make my episodes weekly. Is that good or bad? I mean, objectively speaking, I think that is good because it's better for engagement and the algorithm. But don't. But like, take care of yourself. Like, prioritize your own well being over that. Like, if you're like, um, let's see, if you're like, uh, what's the word? Like, if it's becoming a struggle to work on it, then I'd say maybe like lower the frequency a bit. But I think um, that's all right. Like objectively speaking. Um, why'd you delay the stream? What happened? It was meant to come out a few days ago. I made this in. I actually did make a video about this that I you might have missed. I posted that like the day after because the day after I made the original announcement video because the way that live streaming works on YouTube has changed a lot since I last did it. Um, and I needed to, and because this is a newer channel, I had to like request access for live streaming, and it made me wait 24 hours. And because I requested it at 10 p.m. on the day before it was originally supposed to come out, I had to reschedule it because there was no way I could do it at 3 p.m. while the counter was still going down. Um, okay, what were your feelings about making an object show? It was a fun project to do, and it's something that I have been wanting to do since 2016. Um, it's been a very long part of my life that object shows have been around. So I decided I wanted to make my own back then, and I kept trying to make one for a while. So I guess those are my feelings on making one. If you were a writer for Teapot, what would you do? If you created BFDI, would you make BFB with 64 and Teapot with 43? Would you make BFB Teapot in the basic style? I don't know. uh, I don't know really how what I would do if I was a writer for Teapot. I'm not that good of a writer. Um, See, it has Trials of Twelve affected you positively or negatively. I wouldn't say it was negative. Probably more of a in a short term thing. It was probably it was negative at times because there were some episodes, only like 3 of them maybe, that I animated all within like the 12 hours before the show came out, before the episode came out. I mean, that those weren't good. Like the me staying up all night to do that probably wasn't good, but um overall I think it was pretty positive because it was really what I've gotten uh out of the show, like because I finished an object show and I'm really proud of myself for doing that, and it came out really well, so I'm just happy about that really. So yeah, positively. What's your opinion on Nickel from Jack and Jellyfy? Like just overall, I mean, Nickel, Nickel's funny. Nickel's funny at times. Um, but that's mostly just me remembering like the early Nickel. I don't know how he is that much now. Because I haven't watched like one of the newer episodes in quite a while, so I need to refresh myself. If I made an episode every single day, I'd die very fast. I could not do that. Um, I I have a lot of things to do, so like I don't think it would be sustainable for me to work every single day. It's just not physically possible unless like I had to turn the quality down a ton and basically make it like a PowerPoint presentation. Then maybe I could put one out every day, but that wouldn't really look that good. If you were to describe Trials of 12 in one word, what would it be? That's not easy for me to do. Let's see. There's a lot of words I could use to describe it. I'd say it was fun. It was like a fun project, and it was. Yeah. Let's say it was fun. What did you like the most in making an object show? Um, Probably seeing the response to something I made is something really great. Um, because I mean, I was gonna keep creating regardless. That was my philosophy when I was planning out the show in late 2022. I was like, even if nobody watches it, I'll keep doing it because it was like partially for myself, and I just wanted to have fun. So probably just the animation was pretty good as well. I got to work on my skills, learn a bit more about animation, put effort into something that actually came out really good. So if I had to pick absolutely something that I liked the most, it would probably be the community and the animation. What did you do in the holidays? Not sure what you mean by that. What was the inspiration behind Toast? Probably it stemmed from something like Flower from the original BFDI. Something like that, and then I kind of spun it on its own thing. But there wasn't really a real inspiration for that. I figured, cause I think also a little bit with one of my old Object Show characters. Um, I again, a lot of this stuff is like I should have written a lot of this stuff down like back then, because I can't fully remember everything. But my memory's not the greatest sometimes. But probably a little bit of Flower, original Flower, and some characters from my old Object Show, with my own spin on it. Let's see. Why does Trials of 12 have 13 episodes, not 12? Because I wanted it to be one episode per month for a year, from January 1st to January 1st, and in order to do that, I needed 13 episodes. What's your least favorite part about animating? Lip syncing is definitely very tedious, but it's not my least favorite part. It would probably be something more like, let's see, more like tedious animations for sure. Like, that required way more time than we needed. Like, there definitely would be better methods of animation, but because of the way I'm going off track a bit because I'm losing myself. Yeah, probably if lip syncing maybe that was a bit annoying and time consuming, but I dealt with it and I made it through, and the lip syncing turned out pretty decently. How old are you? Right now I'm 17 and I'm turning 18 very soon. All right, let's see. How long is the stream? I'll probably keep it going for like an hour. I mean, we're at 45, almost 45 minutes right now. I don't know if I'll go to 2 hours. That depends how many more questions I get. But maybe I might go to an hour or an hour and a half, somewhere in that range. Do you like Brawl of the Objects? Yeah, that was definitely a source of inspiration for this show. And I remember voting on a lot of the early, like not the early episodes, but I definitely remember participating in like the voting for Brawl of the Objects. I can't remember who I voted for in the finale. I think it might have been hot dog or pizza. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, I like Brawl of the Objects. What's that timer for? It's going up. That is the current time. That is the time right now. Um, it is currently 3:44, 42. That's just the current time. and date. Can you watch my show? Maybe. Who's the most fun to voice? Oh, I was waiting for a question like this. Piston, probably because of how different I had to make my voice sound. Because Piston is one of the characters where there's no editing to the voice. It's raw. Tube TV was also kind of fun. Trashbin as well. Because part of the inspiration for Trashbin actually was my environmental science teacher of the time from last year. That they had a kind of a southern accent, and so I'm like, I want to do something like that. I actually directly quoted something that they would say in class, in one of Tube TV's lines, but I'm not gonna say what it is. But yeah, Piston, Tube TV, Trashbin, probably some of my favorites. Um, are you the only voice actor? Pretty much. I'm pretty much the only voice actor. Because I voice all the main cast, except for Lemonade, who's voiced by my mom. And then there's the guest voice actors of mostly recommended characters and just mostly from my online friends. But in terms of like permanent voice actors, I'm pretty much the only one. Does anyone else IRL where you are know about Charles Hotel? Yeah, because when I was actually working on episode 1, I happened to I would work on it a lot in one of my classes that the teacher just happened to be one of the film teachers, and so helped me with like putting it to different film festivals, and he would also show it to some of his classes, talking about it, and so there's a few people in my school who do know about it, as well as my family, of course. There was actually one funny incident that happened. Not incident, but this is really something funny that happened. When I was on a school trip and we were flying back from Georgia, I was sitting in the airport terminal, like next to the gate, and one of the kids in my group was sitting next to me, and he asked me, "Hey, is there anyone you watch on YouTube?" And so I was talking about that, and he's like, "Oh, well, there's this one I heard about recently from the school, and made a show called Trials of 12." And he's like, "I know someone in the school. Do you know who made it?" And I couldn't tell if he was joking, but I told him, like, you're sitting right next to them. And then he's like, "Whoa, no way!" And that was pretty funny. All right, how did you get the option to make Blueberry? I was just brainstorming characters that came to mind. Like, a lot of the characters were made in one of my classes in October of last year. Like, for example, Outlet, the inspiration for Outlet was when I was first beginning to plan out characters, I looked up, and it was like during some downtime in my computer science class. I looked forward, and there was an outlet on the wall, and I'm like, that's going to be a character. And that was the first one I ever made. But Blueberry, I think it might have been just an object that I came up with, just like a random thing as like something to add in, and I figured, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't recommend characters. Commenting on one of the episodes under any of the episodes 1 through 13. I have a list of recommended characters that I have like checked off on which ones I've done. I don't know what I'm gonna do with any new ones or anything that I haven't done, because I haven't been able to put all of them into the episodes, because it requires a lot of time to add in all the recommended characters. It takes a long time. I think even for when I brought back recommended characters after not having them for a while, I think that was episode 10. It might have been episode 10. Just making those like 10 recommended characters or so, or I forgot how many there were, but that took about 30 minutes just to make, and that took a while. Let's see. Oh yeah, using some of my ideas. That's not a big deal. Inspiration is a beautiful thing, in my opinion. Without inspiration, a lot of things wouldn't exist online. So that's fine, just as long as it's not blatant ripping off. Least favorite character. Oh, I would say probably Blueberry, because I never really had anything planned for Blueberry. I didn't know what I was doing with Blueberry. Just at least he's my least favorite in the sense that I didn't know what I was doing with him, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with him. So I just kind of had him going along. So that's why I honestly wasn't surprised when he was up for elimination. He was eliminated first on his team, or second on his team, but I wasn't really surprised. Talking about character. Oh wait. Oh sorry, I skipped one. What will happen to Piston after she got teleported? She's just in the dimension. I don't know if I'll show anything about that, but we'll see what happens to her in the future. Talking about character designs, who was your favorite character to design? I do still remember the process of designing characters. Piston was probably one of my favorites, but Piston's design is not the original design. Piston is more simplified than she was originally designed. And actually, if you go on my Tumblr, that's linked in the description, I actually reblogged someone named Wintkit that they drew art of Piston from from when she got eliminated, and the way that they drew Piston was actually how I wanted to draw Piston originally, because Piston is of course based off the Minecraft Piston, and I wanted to have all the little details of her there, but I couldn't get a way for that to work in Flash, so I just went with a more simple design, which looks even less like a piston. But I still really like how this artist made her look like a Minecraft piston, like she was meant to be. All right, let's see. Did you eat blueberries and you had an idea to make what gender is blueberry? I don't eat blueberries actually. Never really been a fan of them, but maybe I saw someone else eating blueberries and I got that idea. I wouldn't be surprised if I did. I got a lot of those ideas for objects from my surroundings, so potentially. And blueberry is a boy. Do you have any beta assets? No, I think all the original assets were the ones that I made that made it into the final cut. I can't think of any like pre-designs. Maybe I'd have to look through my drawing book, but I am going to be going into more behind the scenes stuff over this year, so if I can find anything like that, then of course I'm putting it out. There's actually speaking of behind the scenes stuff, on Wednesday, on Wednesday, I'm going to be putting out a video on this channel announcing a behind the scenes kind of thing that I'm going to be doing over the course of half of this year, and I'm pretty excited to post a lot of that stuff. So, and there's a lot of like documentation I have, because like I like to record stuff down on like paper. So I have Google Docs of like production logs. I recorded so much stuff. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna put out, but I logged a bunch of work. All right. Sorry. Let me go back up a bit. Let's see. Will floppy disk be revived? My idea with dying in the lake is that it's a permanent death. So I'm not sure what my future self will decide from there, or if she's gonna stay dead. Oh god. So this is not the time to call me, dude. Someone's calling me right now. Alright, let's see. What gender are all the Trials with 12 characters? Let's see. I don't remember off the top of my head. I need a list of all the characters up on my screen to fully remember everything. See, Hourglass is a guy. Blueberry's a guy. Cassette's a guy. Digital Recorder's a guy. Flask is a girl. Floppy Disk is a girl. Lemonade's a girl. Notepad's a girl. Outlet's a guy. Piston's a girl. Toast is a girl. Trash Bin's a guy. And Tube TV is a guy. I wanted to do something else in there as well, but I am absolutely garbage at writing in representation, so I just stuck with like 50-50 boys and girls. So I stuck with that to make it easier on myself a bit, but also like if I did write something else, I wouldn't be very good at it, and I don't want to risk that. All right, let's see. Do you know how the recommended characters look like? The ones that I drew, they're scattered throughout the episodes. Well, some of them are scattered throughout episodes, but in other places they're clustered together in like one scene. But yeah, they're all in their respective episodes. As for the ones that I haven't put in episodes, I don't have designs for them. See, have you ever struggled with animating any shots? Ooh, let's see. Um, I know that more advanced animation, like probably episode 9 had a lot harder shots because I had to animate a little bit more into the jumping. Um, uh, let's see. Trying to remember like what shots I could have potentially struggled on. Let me look through my video of like. Oh, and the video's not loading. There we go. Man, nothing really too. I think the end scene of episode 4 definitely did take quite a while to animate because I had to build all that myself. Um, so that was definitely one of them. Dodgeballs, that might not have been one. Um, let's see. Yeah, the maze took quite a while to animate, because there was definitely a lot more put into that. So maybe some of those are some of my uh most struggled in animations. If you were to choose, would you make Trials of 12 very popular but you wouldn't be happy with how it looks, or would you have Trials of 12 the way you would like it to look but less people would view it? Um, I don't really care about the popularity of it. Um, that was kind of my idea in the very beginning. That I just wanted to do it to have fun for the most part, and if it got popular, it got popular. So I'd probably pick the latter. Because that's pretty much kind of how the show is right now. Like the show, it's really not that big in the grand scheme of object shows. So yeah, why didn't you do a debut for Trials of 12? I just wanted to just start off like right off the bat with an episode 1, so that's why. Okay, but is Gonna 2 recommend characters replacing Piston and Floppy Disk? I don't think anyone, and no, I don't think anyone's gonna get replaced. It's just gonna be adding on, but there's not really gonna be any replacing, so to say. Um, yeah. If you did a season 3 with 36 contestants, would it be double eliminations? I don't know if there'll even be a season 3. That's way too far in the future. Alright, let's see. Will Floppy Disk ever return? Did it just answer this? Most likely not. She's dead. Wait, where are the live stream announcement videos? I can't find them. I took them down when I started the live stream because, like, they served their purpose. They announced the live stream, the rescheduling, the final announcement, so there's no real need for them to be online anymore. So you make the recommended characters yourself. Yeah, I have to draw them manually, like Carrie and Michael did in BFDI and BFDIA. I definitely put a little bit more effort into those characters though to make them look nice. But yeah, I draw the recommended characters myself based on just the descriptions that people give me of them. So yeah, why did Dice win? Not sure what you mean by that. I don't know who Dice is. What if the creator of BFDI died? It would be a very sad day, for sure. I don't know what I would do, but it would be very sad. But I think that they're too young to die at this point. But let's move on from that. When does it take place? Is it in 2012 or just something else? There's actually hints of that throughout the show. Each episode takes place on the day it comes out. Like you can see in a lot of the episodes, it says the day of release. Like whether that be on digital recorder or on the TV or even on the sign at the very start of episode 1. It all takes place as real time is going along. Do you plan to add some recommended characters to season 2? If I make one, yeah. Will there be a season 2? It's on the frequently asked questions. Does season 2 also have 12 contestants? It won't have 12. It'll probably have more if I make one. Wrong show. Dice won the object battle world. Cool. Who is your favorite character that is not a host? I don't have a favorite character. But I was leaning more towards. I'm leaning more towards as not like a bias, but I definitely liked Flask, Piston, and Outlet probably more than some of the others. personally. But I do like most of my characters. As funny as that sounds. Will there be a recommended character contest for season 2 if there is one? Maybe, because I know that that's like what Beastie I did going into season 2. So potentially I will do that. Because there's no way I can include every recommended character. I will definitely have to prune a bunch of them. So I'll decide in the future. A lot of this is just like I'll decide in the future. Oh, cool. We just hit an hour on the stream. That's awesome. It's 4 o'clock now where I am. Really hasn't felt like an hour, but it is. Oh shoot! I forgot to make the Tumblr announcement, make a post on Tumblr announcing that the live stream's up. I've been very behind with doing updates on Tumblr, so if anyone here follows me on there, I apologize for that. Okay, let's link the stream here. Get shareable link. Will you decide later? Oh wait, I missed that other one from Dinko. Is season 2 have a vote to save or eliminate? Haven't decided yet. Season 2 only had like very base level decisions, so there's nothing really yet for that. And then will you decide later? Yeah, I will decide later if so. Let me make my Tumblr post real quick. Okay. All right. Back to the questions. Let's see. Um, do you play Roblox? I used to. Not anymore. I outgrew that for the most part. I used to play more often when I was younger, and then I made a brief bit on YouTube. I made a couple of Roblox videos more recently, but then those became super repetitive, and the audience that brought on was not very desirable. So I stopped making those videos, and then like I had no reason to really play Roblox anymore. So I haven't. That's just mostly something I did when I was younger. Will you decide later whether or not you should decide late? What? No, I'll decide later if there'll be an elimination. There's a lot to decide still, like even to decide if there will be a season 2, like it says on the screen. But again, that'll only come with time and patience, because not even I know what I'm doing sometimes. Oops, I just minimized all my windows. Okay. And I forgot to edit the description. Whoopsies. Let me fix that. Object show question mark? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you're asking there. Is there a character development of a character, like for example, Blueberry not being bland on screen or Toast becoming nice? I don't know. Um, that word again. It's that word again. Bland. I used to see that in some of the early episodes, and it got so. It was said enough that it lost all its meaning, and I don't even know what bland even means anymore, because bland is very it's very subjective over what is bland, because there's some people going like, oh, I don't like Trash Bin, he's bland, and then other people are like, I love Trash Bin. So I don't know. I feel like the character development happened subtly, like it just happened over time. But that's more of something that like an analyst would have to see. Why did you never update the assets? There was no real need to. The assets were as good as they were. There was no real reason to update them, so I just kept them as is. The only one I updated was Flask when she broke, and that was really all I needed to do. There was no real reason to change them. Draw a circle, please. Alright. Let's... Let's open up a display capture. I'm just gonna put it like right on top of here. There. I drew a circle. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Okay. Where is episode 14? Was you making the last since but lost your progress? There is no episode 14, and there was never one planned. The show ended with episode 13. There will be no episode 14. Alright. There is a Beef DI game on Roblox, and it's good. A little glitchy. The animations are like total drama. That's sweet. I've seen a lot of people make cool things on Roblox. I think Roblox is cool for game development, but the way that they run their platform is very bad. They don't know what they're doing. They're stealing money from people. If you make a season, okay, do episode 14. There's no episode 14. I can't do an episode that doesn't exist, and it's not possible to exist. I'm sorry, that's just not possible. If you make a season 2, will you employ animators? And if so, pretty please can I be an animator? Blinks cutely. If I make a season 2, I will have to bring more people on to work with like animation and stuff, because by the time I even make a season 2, I'll be in college and I don't know how much time I'm gonna have. So, yeah. Can you draw fan art for my show? Maybe. I don't really draw fan art that often. So, maybe I might do that later in the stream. We'll see. Is the intro the same or different from what? What's the intro same or different from? Can you animate something on stream? What should I animate though? I have like, do episode 14 Gone Forever in the circle. Okay. Question: am I able to work on Trials of 12 if season 2 comes out? I don't know who I'm gonna have working on the show yet. I don't know if I'm just gonna stick with people that I know at first, or if I'll reach out to people on here. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Cause like that, at that point, that might involve having to pay people for their work, and I don't have a lot of money. I will potentially open a Ko-Fi or a Patreon for Trials of 12. I don't know though, just so that like if people want to donate, like they can if they want to, within reason, of course. But that's gonna be a logistical problem of deciding, because if it's gonna be a money issue, then I might just go with people that I know personally at first, and then from there go on. Okay, where did I leave off? Draw a plate. Okay, I'll draw a plate. Drawing with a mouse, so it's not gonna look that good. There. It's a plate. Or if you want to be silly with it, I can rotate it. Oh, and now it's a hat. It's a top hat now. The combination plate top hat. Okay. BreeVee McGee, can we be friends on Discord? Pretty please. I want to be friends with the creator of a cool show. I'm not. I've had interesting experiences with adding people I don't know on Discord, like just from different places like that. So maybe not. And I prefer to keep my personal Discord mostly personal. So, if someone makes I might make a second Discord account for Trials of 12 purposes, but I don't know. I'll think about it. Do Trials of 6. Just watch the last like 6 episodes of the show. There's Trials of 6. In season 2, is the intro gonna? Oh, that's what you meant. It'll probably be different. or at least somewhat similar. I'm not sure. Draw two from teapot next to the plate. Oh, let me bring the plate back. let me redraw the plate. Uh, this time with a little bit more effort. Okay, let's add the desktop. I'm just gonna have to like, oops. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw. I don't know how 2 is drawn exactly, but I'll try my best. I don't exactly know what 2 looks like. Let me pull up like a reference image actually. Okay, so I got the shape right. The bottom's a bit. Oh no, I got the shape right. Okay. Oh, their outline is black. Whoops. Okay, there we go. It's gonna look like kind of it's gonna look so weird, but oh my god, this looks horrible. Oh my god, this looks horrible. Oh god, send this thing. This is so bad. I am so sorry, but it's the very like, just a very shotgunned 2. I don't draw well with a mouse. That's the best I can do. All right, let's come back to the questions. Let's see. Can you show us the FLA of one of the TLT episodes? Yeah. Let me go through some of the other questions and I'll pull that up. Who do you think is gonna lose in Teapot 10? I have not watched Teapot 10, so I don't know. Is there going to be a Discord server that actually does? I think I should add that to the text potentially, because I have gotten that asked a few times. Okay, now I have to fix the text size. Oh jeez. Why did I have to make the background orange? All right. What's your opinion on Toast? I mean, because I made her, and and like she has reasons for why she acts that way, so I guess I'm kind of sympathetic in a way, but I can't really say any of that yet because that's lore classified stuff. Make trials of 345,127,890. Let's go to the year like 2124, and it's gonna happen. Make trials of 4.5, pretty please. That episode 9. No, episode 9 was like the last 6, so it was like episode 11 or so. I dare you to draw 4 from BFE. Oh, you dare me? Okay, okay. You dare? Okay, I'll draw 4. Whoops. I'll draw 4. Let me just see what they look like again. Okay, also a black outline. Oh, that's too low. Let's draw them up here. Oh, that's the wrong button. Ah, I forget my keybinds sometimes. I have a friend online who really likes the number characters. How do I make them look as as like demented as possible? Just the empty stare. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh no, if we're standing on the plate. Oh god, that's not what their arm looks like. It's it's too big. Oh my god. There we go. There's 4. Let's see what color of blue. I think like Something kind of dull. Oh, I just realized like their limbs are a little bit brighter. That's probably like the best 4 I've ever drawn. It's not going to be accurate, of course. All right. All right, back to the questions. Will you open source the FLAs or not, or for Trials of 12 in the future? Potentially, I might. Make your favorite contestant in Teapot. I don't watch enough Teapot. Drop present. Okay, actually, I'm gonna go back to what Warrenex said before I forget. I'm gonna open one of the. Okay, here I have all the files right here. Let's see, which one should I go for? Everyone's asking me to draw. Oh my god. Let's go episode 8. Let's see. Let's go scene 5. I forgot what's in here, but all right. Oh yeah, this was it looks very simple like on the surface because all these are like enclosed symbols. So all the main animation is actually in here. Like for all that, so it makes this look a lot simpler. Some frames are really funny. But yeah, there's a little bit of a preview as to like what like one of the FLA files look like. And then of course the in-character animation. You can see the lip syncing is probably like some of the most animated parts. All right. Where did I leave off on? Let's see. Okay. Okay, I answered that one. Draw present from Brawl the objects. I don't remember what they look like. Draw X eating chicken nuggets. Make trials of. That is a really big number that I'm not gonna say. Draw. Why do you watch Teapot and BFDI episodes late? I've not been able to get around to them. I've not been able to get around to watching them. I have a lot going on in my life, so I'm not able to watch everything. And I haven't been able to get around to watching BFDI again, like in general. So that's why I'm a bit behind. Draw winner. Why he got a nose? Why who has a nose? Who has a nose? Draw winner from BF Boy. I know what you meant there. Draw hourglass in 10 seconds. Draw. Yeah, it's just, I'm gonna I'm gonna take a break from drawing for a bit. Okay. I'm just gonna minimize this. Have you watched AIB? It sounds familiar. Let me see. Let me look it up. Oh no, I've not seen it. What's your opinion on inanimate insanity inva? I don't care. Okay. I'm still gonna answer that question anyway. I've watched a bit of it. It's alright, I guess. It's I think last time I left off on was the one with like the serial character. I think that's the last one I watched, but I don't really remember because that was quite a while ago. Who's your favorite Object Mayhem character? I've never watched Object Mayhem. Oh yeah, Springy. That was the name of it. If Trials of 12 had a second season, would it be called Trials of 24? That was an idea that I had. Um, that was one of my ideas, but uh, I still haven't decided. Oh, it's Nikki Mater. I've seen you. I've seen you like in the early episodes. Um, so what do you think of your characters? Um, they're good in the sense that I don't know. And I don't know how to answer that. It's just mostly like they're there. I made them. I'm not sure. So you like Butter? Like a character named Butter or like real Butter? Trials of Weather, Hurricane, Hurricane, Katrina, more like Hurricane Tortilla. I'm not. I'm mispronouncing it on purpose. That's part of the vine. Oh, real life. Yeah, I mean, butter. I mean, I don't like butter by itself, but like, yeah, butter's alright. Cassette sounds like tennis ball from BFB. That was kind of a goal. I did want cassette to kind of sound like tennis ball, not perfectly, obviously. I had a character actually in my first animated object show named Globe, who sounded as close to I can do an impression of tennis ball back then because I was like 10 or 11 when I made it. So it sounded very bad, but yeah, cassette does is kind of meant to sound similar to tennis ball. Trials of the Six Stages of Grief. Oh no. Do a lemon episode. Like spoiled lemon. That's all I wanna do is go apart. I don't think I can add someone else's character in a show. I don't think that's a good thing. Um, like I'd probably have to ask Adam Katz for permission to use that character. I don't think that the Insanity people would appreciate that. Um, can you show the FLAs now? I can show them. I can show them, but like like I can just show them. That's pretty much it. Like yep, there's some of the files. Like I'm not gonna be posting them for like quite a little while though. So they'll probably be coming later in the year. Let's see. I swear everyone wants one of their characters to sound like tennis ball. I mean, there's only so many voices that someone can do. Um, so yeah, add dice from object may. Okay, that laughing emoji. Which episode of Trials of 12 was the hardest to write? Um, Probably the finale because it took me forever to actually know what I was doing on it. Because when I first plan, because when I started planning the show out at the end of 2022, I made an outline of what I wanted each episode to be. So I was planning episode 13 like over a year in advance, and so I just blanked for a second. So like I had an idea for episode 13, but then like as I got closer to the release of it, like maybe sometime in August or September, I kind of realized that like, oh, um, uh, this didn't really make a lot of sense. Or maybe it was episode 11 and 12. It was episode 12 and 13. I mean that I changed like kind of last minute. Like after episode 12 ended, I rewrote episode 13. So that was probably harder to write because I had to write that from basically scratch with the thinking of the whole new idea. So, and I wanted that to be more special, so I had to come up with all that. All right, sorry about that. Back. Okay. Back to questions. Sing. Not right now. I don't want to sing. Blueberry sounds like Blueberry from I didn't really think Blueberry sounded like that. Blueberry in Trials of 12 sounds a lot higher pitched because Blueberry in I sounds like so talks more like this. So and Blueberry doesn't really sound like that here, so figure that. Let's see. What's your least favorite character to write? Uh the writing process itself was more just like I just thought of like what it was more kind of like an in the moment thing with the writing. I don't think there was any character that was hard to write. I guess Blueberry because I don't. Blueberry was always just a difficult character because I didn't know what I wanted to do with him. So probably that. Do you watch Mega Prediction of Trials of 12? I saw a lot of the prediction videos that was done by this one guy. I forgot their name. It was Mega Minecrafter 1. They've been doing elimination videos for the channel since it started, and I've seen like every single one of them because I wanted to see where they were going. And I remember in the really early days, like in April or like May, I remember seeing one of those reaction videos, and because I already planned out the reaction, the elimination, the team elimination order, so to say. So I knew which teams were going to be up for elimination on what episodes. The creator of those predictions back then got the elimination order for the teams down to a T up until episode 8, because like after that I changed it. But they got it perfectly correct, and I was so surprised by that. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. All right. Did you go to hospital one day? I did. Like, I've been in the past. I was born in a hospital. But I've been to hospital in my life, yes. For many different reasons, because there's, like, quite different reasons. Let's see. Would you allow reaction videos? Reaction videos, I don't like modern reaction videos in the sense where it's like you're just sitting there letting the whole episode play and just talking like once every 5 minutes. I don't like those kind of reaction videos because that's just straight up stealing. If like you added your own commentary to it and like theorizing what was going on but not playing the whole episode, that'd be a kind of reaction video that I'd actually probably promote more, because it's someone actually contributing and not just sitting there watching the screen. Let's see. On my new account, I'm only on episode 2 of season 2 of my show, and I already have done voting for episode 6 on one Reddit on the wikis. Is that good? I'm not sure. That works a little bit differently to how I've done stuff, so I'm not really sure. Who'd you think you would win? Who would win the show when you created it? When I first created it, I didn't really have any idea of who would. I gave it a little bit of time before I figured, yeah, maybe Outlet might win. Or I knew some characters were gonna get pretty far, but like some made it further than I thought would. Let's see. Did you watch your own series? I mean I had to rewatch the episodes after I finished doing it to make sure, like, for quality checks. And recently I actually had to rewatch the entire season to make sure that, like, to refresh myself on stuff from like the early season so I can be better prepared for the Q&A, and also like to get some of my ideas straight. Do some of the cast members have actual jobs, like as in like the contestants? Something like, I mean, I'd say they do. That was actually an idea I was originally planning to have with the show, where episode 1 was going to start off with the characters being in their normal lives before finding out about the show and joining it. But I decided to cut that out because it would probably be a bit too much to work on. I mean, there was a lot there with the amount of time that I had to work on the show in total. It's why I never could make the episodes longer than 10 minutes, or even that much longer than 5 minutes, because it required a lot of time and I didn't have a lot of it. Who's your favorite and least favorite character? I answered that earlier and I don't remember my questions to those. Did you break a bone? What happened? No, I've never broken a bone. And I'd rather keep that private because that is personal. So I've just been to the hospital. That's all I'm gonna say. I want more screen time of Star and Colacan. I do have my old object show where those two characters come from. Um, very. I'm probably not gonna reveal that object show for a while because in the future I will, but not right now. Now's not a good time for that. But yeah, those two came from one of my old object shows, so there's a lot more screen time of them there. And also, if when I do release that, just fair warning, I was like 14 when I wrote that when I wrote those characters for the first time, so the writing is and animation is like kind of trash. Um, let's see. Who will win Teapot? I'm not the person to ask for that. How'd you come up with the characters? Who'd you come up with first? Mainly looking around my surroundings and seeing what I can come up with through there and what would work, and also looking for inspiration online, looking up different objects, looking at different object shows, and like seeing it's like okay, well, what can I spin out of that? Because I have come up with a lot of different characters over time. Um, and then oh yeah, who did I come up first? Outlet was the first person I came up with. I explained the story a bit ago, but I'll re-explain it for those of you who weren't here. I was in my computer science class almost a year and a half ago, and I was thinking about characters. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I look up and I see one of the outlets in the room, and I'm near like the teacher's desk. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just make that a character. So that's the story of Outlet. Who's your favorite recommended character? I don't know. There's a lot of them. Probably my more favorite recommended characters are the ones I decided to make into like actual characters in the show. I didn't pick them specifically. I just kind of picked some at random and then assigned some of my friends like to them. I guess those six, so to say. Um, but I don't really have a favorite recommended character. What are your expectations of how far the show would go when you first uploaded the first episode? Um, I was already planning to go for the whole thing. I wanted to go the whole season. I wanted to make a whole season. I wasn't gonna stop at anything, and where the show would go on YouTube, that was all up to YouTube. Um, like I didn't mind if it didn't get popular because it was mostly for myself and for my younger self who wanted to finish a season of an object show. So that was my main expectation. At what age would you quit object shows? I'm not sure. Depends on what's going on in my life. Like in like 5 years, if like I'm way too busy and making an object show just isn't sustainable, then I'm probably not gonna do that. Or I might move on to other animation styles or different genres of animation, but it all just depends on time. Does BFDI exist in the Trials of 12 world? Yes, but not. It exists in the sense that BFDI exists to us because in the story I came up with it. Hourglass got the inspiration of Trials of 12 from watching BFDI back in the early 2010s. So it exists in that universe in the way that it exists for us. What happened to your old object show? What happened? What episode were you on? I made one episode of my last object show, and then it got canceled because that was right in the middle of me. That was like right before I started high school, and during the pandemic. So I was on online schooling, and I just could not properly like get an episode done in a month. It just wasn't possible for me back then, so I canceled it. Will the stream be a video and will there be a second Q&A? I'm gonna leave the stream up in its entirety, online, just like this, unedited. And then will there be a second Q&A? Probably not. This will probably be the only one. And like stuff will be coming out over a while. Maybe I might do one in the further future when there's a lot more out. But as for this year, I think this is just gonna be the only one. What character was the most fun to make? If I can remember the process of making the characters. Let's see. I mean, just making the assets, a lot of them were just pretty simple to make. Probably some of the more old tech characters, because I like old technology. So probably some of them. Probably. Yeah, I guess I'd say that. Um, I think this will be 2 hours. Yeah, it'll probably be 2 hours. And then after that, I might start winding down the stream. But like we've got like a record amount of like concurrent viewers right now, so I'll probably just keep going till afterwards. Remember Steve, you know the one who got voted by okay, but the end of your comments being covered up by an icon by me and appear in the final episode. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember a few people commenting about that, and I was so confused about that. But then I just go along with it. So I thought it was fun, honestly. And then making the recommended character. Steve is a reality. It was, I thought the first time you voted for Steve, I thought you meant like Minecraft Steve. But nah, just decided to make him its own thing. Which part of making object shows do you like the most? Like assets, animation, voice acting, audio editing, or probably coming up with the episodes is probably one of my favorite parts because I get to write it out and plan everything out, and then some stuff does actually change from the storyboard to the final episode because either it's a change I decide to make while I'm voice acting or in the audio editing or in the animation. About like, well, in the animation it's mostly about visuals. I can't really change the audio from there. So probably just the initial planning stage of writing the episode, because I look at the outline I set for myself, and then I write the episode from there. Usually covers about 8 to 12 pages of my drawing book. Favorite BFDI character? I answered that earlier, but you weren't here earlier, so that's fine. It was Fiery, pretty sure. I don't know about now, but it's been Fiery for a long time. Favorite Trials of 12 episode? Ooh. It's a bit mixed because I guess with time, I guess some of the animation choices and choices in the episode that I made in episode 1 is different. It's different than how I felt back then about them. I liked how the finale turned out. Like I really liked making the credits of that. That was definitely something fun to make. As surreal as it felt that I was ending the show. But probably the last one or the last few episodes were pretty fun to make. How'd you pick the teams that lose? It was mostly random. I don't remember if I put a specific order to them, but definitely I definitely just lost myself. It was mostly random for the most part. That's why I was so impressed when the guy who was predicting the elimination order got the team elimination order like perfect for like episodes 5 through 8 or 4 through 8. I was super impressive. It was super impressive, yeah. Do you prefer drawing digitally or not digitally? Drawing digitally, because art for me in general has just been a motivation problem for me over the past few years. I drew a lot more digitally back in like 2021, but it's easier for me to just draw on paper, and because of like my equipment, it's like not the easiest for me to draw digitally. Like the most drawing I did was on my old school iPad, like back in like the beginning of high school, that I had access to, and I used to draw on that a lot. But since that got replaced with a different iPad and I couldn't get a drawing app, I kind of stopped doing digital art from there. So I mostly just draw on paper. Your voice sounds like Gady. I think that's a good thing. Hold on, let me look something up. Yep. I'm cool with that comparison. I like that actually. What inspired you to make Trials of 12? Quite a few things. The obvious BFDI and Anime Insanity, but most of those object shows plus some animation, plus some other YouTubers who did animation. Like Alan Becker was probably one of my biggest inspirations for starting animation, because I really like his stick figure animations, and I wanted to actually do something like that back then. And so I learned a lot of my animation skills from Alan Becker's tutorials, because that's those like animation in general. Tomska as well, kind of his humor as well as like just Asdiff movie and other animations he did. Alright, were there any characters you created that you scrapped? I also answered this earlier, but again, you weren't here, so I'll just answer those questions. Yeah, there was a few of them, like how Hourglass was originally not going to be the host. It was gonna be someone named Trophy, and it was gonna be a trophy, but I scrapped it because I figured it would be too hard to actually make a asset out of that character and keep it going for long. And there's also two characters that I was gonna put in that yeah, it's okay. It's okay that you're late. That's fine. I don't mind re-answering questions as long as like they're not so frequent. I put the frequent ones on the screen, but yeah, the other two characters that I scrapped were kiosk, like one of those kiosks you'd see in a mall or at a fast food place, something like that, and also like a standing lamp. Those two characters I drew in, and I decided nah, they don't really fit, so I got rid of them. I don't remember if there's any more. I'd have to look through my old drawing book, but I'll go into more detail with that like later in the year with some of the other with the behind the scenes stuff. Is the United States canon? That means the world is just our world, but with objects, except for Steve, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. The United States is pretty canon, as there's quite a few references to real life states in there. I wanted to show a visual of where the Isle of Ithaca actually is relative to the United States, because, but like I never got to animate that part of an episode because I ran out of time. It was supposed to be in episode 10, but I stayed up until 9 a.m. animating on October 1st, the day it was supposed to come out, and I had just finished animating episode 10. I mean, scene 10 of 11, and I was like, I'm just gonna edit it together like this because I could not continue on. I stayed up all night. Alright. I got Toon Squid, but I deleted it. Didn't know how it worked. Oh, rip. um, Actually, I remember there was an earlier question, something about Tube TV. Tube TV's inspiration was partially from an old character I had in my previous object show, who was a character named Gold, who was also British, but my British accent back then was absolute garbage. It's still garbage, but it's less garbage than it used to be. FBI is also important. Ooh, they may be important. Who knows? I mean, yeah, the United States exists, but it's like its own thing with objects and stuff. I mean, so you got characters saying they're from different states as well. So do with that what you will. There's connections there that I'm not sure if people have made like throughout the series of like character relations. I'm just mostly just waiting for someone to point it out for the most part. I don't know if you already answered this question, but what was your biggest obstacle when it came to making Trials of 12? School was my biggest one especially because I'm in the later years of high school. Definitely balancing out work on the show with work and like just on my own time. So that was the biggest obstacle. Funnily enough, the most time I spent working on Trials of 12 was in school because I was more in a working mood at that point. You're not weird for being British. You're not weird for being British. Is income tax return document the president or at least in the government because taxes? That I don't know. There's not really much like that's canon outside about countries. It's just that they exist. Like there's real life events that happened there, which that definitely is gonna go like the route of like people with like the Cars universe and other universes. But there's I had an idea for a short, not a YouTube short, but like a short video of a reference to two of the characters and where they come from and a historical event. But that I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be putting that out. I'll see about later in the year though, potentially. Has some store applications. Income tax return document has to be. Piston killed everyone in the government. Oh my god. Wow. What were you able to do in school? Were you able to do stuff digitally in school or just like on paper? Both. I was able to do scripting. Well, I couldn't do voice acting there. Obviously, I did all my voice acting at my house. Most of the audio editing was also at my house, as well as it was back and forth, but I also went along with where it was, and because Trials of 12 came at a really good time actually because my school got like a really big donation about 2 years ago, and because of that, we got like MacBooks. We got MacBooks last year, so that definitely helped with me working on stuff because the only other laptop I had at the time was a piece of garbage. So I was able to work a lot with that, and then I got more laptops through collecting them because I like collecting that, and I was able to work on that like just in class with my laptop, and no one really cared. Let's see. Where did I leave off? How did you come up with the name Trials of 12? I didn't want to make an object show name with battle or object in it because that's super overused, as well as my previous object shows when I was younger used those words in the title, and I figured that's like it's super overused, so I wanted something more unique. So I'm like, oh, there's 12 contestants, and because I've kept alliteration throughout the entirety of the show, that was my plan from the beginning. I went with Trials of 12 because it's mostly just alliteration, and because it sounds fun. Um, you know, interesting to what is an contest. There's definitely going to be more about the Trials of 12 universe. Like just the world. I don't know how much I'm going to include about that yet, but I just have one thing planned so far. The season 2 have a co-host. Haven't planned much yet for that. What does NPC stand for? Non-player character, really? Like, if that's a genuine question. How'd you find Tomska's music? I've been watching Tomska since As If Movie 7 in 2013. And I love his sketches. And I've been watching it a lot more over the past 5-6 years. And I found out Destructive, which is the track I used in the intro and the credits, from watching a lot of his older videos, because Destructive was used in one of his videos from 2009, I believe, and I'm like, oh, that's a fun sounding song. And then I was thinking of an intro song. I'm like, I think I'll use this. So I did. I do have permission from him to use the song, by the way. It's just not currently public, but I did ask him for permission to use the song, and he said yeah. Let's see. And it became Rio and Group. Red KFC chicken. Why'd you choose to only have 12? Mostly, I think that's just how many characters I was able to come up with, and also just the idea that I wanted I wanted it to be like a nice even number, and also I wanted the show to go on for 1 year, and I needed 13 episodes, so I was like, okay, what's the most realistic way I can have this? And so I picked 12 because then I could have 12, like, I guess 11 eliminations, or no, 10 eliminations with the final 2, also with like some gaps between elimination. So that was, I think that was the main reason why I picked 12. What do you think of YouTube's recent UI changes? I actually have not been using the regular UI on YouTube since about late 2022 because I have an extension on my browser that that changes the UI to an older style of it, and I can customize it to any YouTube layout from 2008 to this year. Because I was originally fine with it, like up until they really started changing it about a year and a half ago, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna join that train. So anything that they've done since then, I'm not really sure. Trial Island. That's funny, but yeah, I forgot why I picked the name of the island, but I know it's like I picked it because it's like Greek for something, but I just don't remember. So objects can die for real without recovering, huh? Yep. They can. I guess that's like what happened to Bo in Inanimate Insanity. I mean, she died, even though she was still technically around as a ghost, but you know. In the start, you wanted 12 contestants. Yep. What do you think of PILBEC spoilers for episode 9? Pillow went insane and killed everyone. This is not a joke. I don't know what that is. Micro died. Oh, yeah, I haven't watched much of the original Excellent Entities. I've only watched Extraordinary Excellent Entities. But I do remember now. Now that you remind that, I do remember that people did talk about Micro in the second season. So yeah. What layout do you use to animate? I think I use Classic. I believe. I use like a slightly modified Classic. It's not like super different, but um, but yeah, it's I think it's the Classic. Let me actually open it up and see. I think I used the Classic layout, but just with some windows moved around, like with some tabs moved around. If object show population grew, no, that's not a thing in this universe. They are manufactured. They're manufactured, so they come from a factory. There is like parents, but it's not in that way. It's more just like it's like the Stark in the old Disney cartoons, basically. But the characters have manufacture dates, like how the only publicly known canon manufacture date is Notepad, because her birthday was on the release of an episode. It was like May 1st of, I think, 2001 is her canon manufacture date. I'd have to look back and see if I can remember that. Timeline. Yeah, May 1st, 2001. That's the only canon public date. All right, let's see. What do you think of Pillow? Like from BFB Teapot. I like them. I like them. Also, do human in real life get their own recovery center? No, not in real life. Storyboard or script? Storyboard. I draw all of them in my drawing book, with pencil, and then I convert it into a script just for the purpose of voice acting. Do you think Die was I don't know about this object show. I don't know. I'm sorry. Then who makes them? Humans? Yellowface Incorporated? The faces in general? Something else? I just say they're just unnamed manufacturing plants. That's just how they're created. That's how they're made. So they're not born. They're just created in factories, and then, yeah, that was an idea that I had like very early on. It's like, because that would be weird. When's your birthday? February 6th. That's my birthday. Can't be objects, so they need a person in the start for them to be. Then here it comes the question: who came first, the factor or the object? What object shows do you really want to see? Like coming up? I don't know. I don't know if there's any coming up. I haven't really been keeping track of a lot of object news, if that's a thing. Another object show character creator says characters just spawn in like in Minecraft, so sort of similar. Yeah, honestly, some of the inspiration for how I got the characters to be created kind of came from a webcomic that I've been following, where characters are kind of just like wished into existence, so to say. Like, but they're brought in on eggs, like a stork, like not a stork, but like it's hard to explain from there, but it's yeah. So similar to what this other creator says, just spawn in like Minecraft. How'd you come up with the name BreeVee? It's short for my first and last preferred name. What those are, I won't reveal for a very long time. Oh my god, people keep messaging me. Steve exists, so maybe humanity, but then why are they not ruling over those pets? Let's see. I mean, Minecraft Steve is something completely different. Technically, Minecraft Steve is an object because he's not real. If you can kill off a Trials of 12 character that's not floppy disk, who would it be? I guess my least favorite, which is Blueberry, because I don't know what the hell Blueberry's doing. What episode was not fun to make? Probably the ones that I stayed up until like really late to do. Like I don't dislike those episodes, but definitely in the moment I really was exhausted and I didn't like it. That was just the least fun ones. I think some of those episodes were episode 4, or I think episode 3, episode 10, I think also episode 7. I think I finished before episode 8. Episode 8 was the episode I spent the most time on. Um, like out like just staying up all night because I had just come back from a trip like a week or two prior, so I didn't have a lot of time to work on episode 8. So I stayed up and I had to post the episode late because at noon, which is when it was supposed to come out, I was still working on the episode. So I'd say that was my least favorite episode to make. My the least fun to make. There was a religion where they worship the factory. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not. I haven't thought about that, and I don't really want to think about that. Uh, I don't think there is religion. That'd probably be a bit too divisive. How old are you? 17, 18 soon. Were there any alternate designs for characters that you thought of? More specifically, Hourglass. Did you ever think of having sand inside of Hourglass? I can't remember if I wanted sand in Hourglass. That's something that I can't really remember. But I think most of the character designs have stayed the same for the most part. I guess like the only one that's actually changed was Piston, because I wanted Piston to be more like to have more detail, because Piston is meant, if you look up Minecraft Piston, of course that's what Piston's based off of. I wanted to make it look more like that, but I couldn't figure that out in the program, so I made her design a bit simpler. So I guess that's the only one that's really changed. Blueberry be Should Yellowface exist and be the Jeff Bezos of the universe? I wouldn't be surprised if Yellowface was that. But I mean, the BFDI characters don't exist in the reality of the universe. So all these questions about I'd say cook up some theories, because that would be definitely interesting to see. But there's nothing I can really say about that right now because I don't actually have any of that like thought through. Yeah, the style and the episode like coming out first day of the month mostly was for challenge's sake, because I wanted to do something like that. Um, and I wanted to keep a pretty consistent. I wanted to keep a consistent schedule, and not like waiting too long between episodes for the terms of the algorithm, because it was a brand new channel. Um, Something like that kind of did happen where the algorithm stopped favoring me, which I originally thought was a shadow ban, and this happened right after the release of episode 4, where like the amount of views I was getting from recommendations dipped so hard I thought I was genuinely shadow banned. But then after like a few months and talking to people from YouTube, I realized it's just the algorithm changed and was no longer promoting me as much. It sucks, but you know, I kind of came back from that. What's your favorite OSC commentary YouTuber? I've not watched a lot of them. I've seen a little bit of Fortle, but I've not seen that many others because I don't really watch that many object videos in my spare time. But I have watched a few of them, like when they pop up sometimes. But it's not really a thing that I really look at. Have you ever thought of making a wiki? I've thought of making a wiki for quite a few things, but I figure if there's going to be a wiki, I want it to come organically from you guys. I figure, like, because I don't want to, like, just completely put all the lore out there. I figure I'm going to put the lore through the episodes, and I want to see what people can piece together from that, and then put it up on the on their own wiki and see what they do. And I think that'd be pretty fun to see, instead of me just giving everything out. Did you use any art programs before Flash? I mean, that you'd have to go pretty far back, like before the show. The first animation program I used, I actually did use Flash first. No, I didn't. The first animation program I used was Paint.net, which is not an animation program. It's just a regular art program. And I would just draw stuff there and then put it together in a video in like Windows Movie Maker. And then eventually I got Anime Studio Pro, because that's what Inanimate Insanity used. But then I realized that program was crap and I didn't like it, so I stopped using it. And I eventually got access to to Flash, and I've just been really using that since then. What is season 2 episode 1 challenge and episode title? And also, do you think the vote taker will be back in season 2? Also, you have the same episode and contestant as ANOSIMBIB. There's nothing really planned for season 2 yet, so I can't really tell you anything. What's your favorite emoji? I use some emojis more often than others, like online. But I don't have a favorite emoji. Interesting facts about every TOT character. I need a bunch of time to think about that. So I can't do like a lightning round like right now. Maybe in the future. I'll do a video like that. And we just hit 2 hours on the stream. Wow. I might go for a little bit longer and then close off a bit and then close the stream. But we're still doing pretty good, and I'm gonna keep going for a little bit longer. All right. Does Hourglass deserve what happened to him? I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Because I feel I'm not sure if I left enough hints throughout the show, because I've sprinkled some stuff throughout. So that also comes in with the question, how did Hourglass find the island? That's also within like the thing, but I still have a lot more lore to go through to establish what actually happened. But I mean, to me it makes sense, the connections, because I wrote them and I know like everything about it. But hopefully that could be discovered one day. Like maybe if there's a season 2, I'll clarify a bit more on that. Which alternate dimension was Piston said to? I don't know, one of them. Never really elaborated much on that in my own mind. Who's your best friend, and do you have a secret challenge? That's a bit personal. I mean, I know who it is, but like I can't really say that. Do you have a secret challenge? What does that mean? Secret challenge sounds very mysterious. Favorite chocolate? I like dark chocolate. That's pretty good. What do you think of Object Show plushies? I think it's cool. Like there was the kid on the news with the marker plush. I thought that was pretty funny. Secret channel. Oh, I don't have secret channels because technically like all my channels are secret channels in a way, cuz like this one is hidden from like all my other ones. And then my 2 main channels are hidden from this one, and then it's kind of, I like keeping a separation until I'm really ready to come out about that and like really connect it all together. That's more something that I'm doing in the future. How advanced is this world? Can they take our world? It's pretty much a parallel universe of this one, but just objects. Like that's I guess it's just that. To do with that information what you will. I can already see where some of those theories are gonna go, and I'm not gonna talk about that, but I think it's kind of funny, but like I haven't confirmed anything. I created a wiki, but the chat won't let me link it. I mean, yeah, sure. We'll see where that goes from there. Actually, there is the only semblance of a wiki for the show is on the the Object Show fan wiki, the fandom wiki. Somebody created a page for Trash Bin like all the way back in like January or February. I forgot when, but there's a page for Trash Bin there. It says the only Trials of 12 character with a page. Because I have looked around on the wiki, there is a bunch of mentions of the show and the characters listed in different places, but no like actual wiki. How much will he be in jail? Can't really say that yet. If you could have a pet, what would it be? Cats. I love cats. Definitely I would get a cat. If you know what I mean. I don't think I know what you mean. What do you use mainly? A computer, laptop, or phone, tablet? I mainly use a desktop. That's what I do for the most part on most things. But because I do travel to different places, as in like, going to school and other people's houses, I do bring a laptop with me. So I have both, and then of course I have my own phone, but I can't really work on anything there. Can you do a piston or outlet plushie? In the future, I don't think the show would be big enough for that just yet. Plus I don't have money and I need money for that, so I can't really make any plushies at this time. But I mean, BFDI didn't get their first plushie for like almost a decade, so Can the U.S. bring freedom to the object states? Oh, I'm wondering the implications of me just saying that this is a parallel universe. That's that's gonna bring on a lot of implications. That um, whatever's canon that I say is canon that I show in the show or reference, I guess is where I'll as far as I'll go. Did your old show use characters from other shows? Um, I mean, there's only so many objects that you can do until you run out. Um, the globe in my last object show, there was a character called Globe. Is based off I got I brought on the idea from my first animated object show Globe. They have the same name and they're both like an Earth ball, so I kind of took that from there. Um, but like no direct. I don't I have not stolen characters from other object shows. It's usually just a similar object, but it's an entirely different character, with a different design as well. Let's see. Are you proud of this generation? I'm not sure what you mean by that. What's your opinion on CD collecting? I kind of want to get into that, um, because I mean I collect other things like iPhones and computers, but I have not been able to get into CD collecting because I just don't find them very often. What What is your favorite object show by It's Gumi? I don't know who that is. I think I answered that question earlier. I don't remember my answer though. Pushy pistons or electric eccentrics? Probably the eccentrics. That's probably what I go to. Um, let's see. What's your favorite Prime flavor? Never tried it. Never plan on trying it. That's like, I think that's the drink from like Logan or Jake Paul. I forgot which ones, but I'm not interested in putting that anywhere near my mouth. What other communities are you in? None that I really want to talk about. Because like the only real community that I'm in right now and actively interacting with is kind of closed off for like reasons, and also other ones that I can't really talk about because of some people that I know in person. So, your favorite sport? I don't like sports. I don't do sports. So no, I don't have a favorite sport. I don't like it. Oh, I didn't see the other question. If you could give Pushy Pistons or Electric Eccentrics new names, what would they be? Not sure, because I mostly wanted to stick with the alliteration on that, and so I felt like that kind of worked, like pretty similar. I think the Electric Eccentrics name actually came from when I was brainstorming the name of the object show, because I was like taking a tally of like what kind of characters each character was, and there's a lot of electronic characters. Even though the actual Eccentrics team doesn't have a lot of electronic characters, I still decided on that. Let's see, okay? Do you watch Christmas Clash? Never heard of it. What's your favorite book? I don't know. I haven't read a book in a while. I used to love like reading atlases. That was something I like to do. What's your opinion on the new Super Mario game? I didn't even know there was a new Super Mario game. Last Mario game I played was probably the one on the Wii. Favorite game? There's a few games that I still play. I still play Minecraft quite a bit. There's also BeamNG Drive, and I used to really be into Euro Truck Simulator, but I haven't played that in a while. I'm not saying any swear words on stream. Pen, Fiery Flower, Match, Leafy, Bubble. Who would you save and eliminate? I mean, most of them are good. I mean, Flowers had her redemption arc, so. Favorite BFDI character? I said that earlier. It was Fiery for the longest time. The People's Republic of Objects. Oh my god. You're really going into this whole country lore thing. Which is better, BFDI, II, or EE? Objectively speaking, like looking at the quality, probably BFDI. And BFDI probably more from my personal favorite because it was the first one I watched. No, I'm lying. The first object show I watched was BFDIA because I started watching it like right at the end. So, and then from there I watched the original. If you could choose a character from Trials of 12 to see in real life, who would it be? I mean, I have outlets all over my house, so. There's something. Um, I mean, everyone does. Uh, and also, the character I used in the announcement video is actually based off of my personal iPod. I have a translucent purple iPod in real life, and that's why I made that character there. You like eggs? Yeah. First object show I watched was AIB. What's your opinion on AIB? Never watched it. What year did you discover BFDI? 2013. Like right after like BFDIA 5e came out. Um, it must have been that because I remember watching BFDIA 5e like when it was very new. So I'm pretty sure it was 2013. What is the Oh my god, she's gonna start listing off country names. What TOT character would be your friend? I don't know. Um, I'm kind of disconnected from the characters, like, because I write them on my own thing. So, I'm not really sure where I'd go from there. But yeah, I've been watching object shows for a long freaking time. Which is why I start like that's I mean it only took me a few years to actually get around to trying to make my own. I actually do remember when I was in second grade, so this was 2014. I drew the entire BFDIA cast in one of my school books, but that book got tossed out a long time ago, and like it's gone forever. But I still remember it. You know. Which contestant would you slap for? Oh, never mind. You just name all the object countries on like a notepad document. Which one would I rewrite? Ooh. Um. Let's see. Um. Maybe lemonade. I might lemonade. I probably didn't give enough, like, development to. I probably could do better with lemonade. Floppy disk. I could have done something, but she's dead. So and then blueberry. I think he's just a lost cause. Cassette maybe a little bit more. Digital recorder maybe more. It was just kind of there as well. Now hear the Gatey comparison. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't see the other one. Which object show character had the best voice? In general, I don't know. There's a lot of good voices. I like Puffball's voice, but that's because it's very unique. Um, I remember trying to emulate her voice when I was younger, like with those like audio with like those voice modifiers. What's in your opinion the least original, most overdone object show? I I don't know. It's probably like some very small one that didn't get very popular because of how generic it was. But I've never actually watched a super generic object show. A lot of them do have their own quirks that I think makes them like not like more original. Um but yeah, I can't really think of one. Which contestant would you slap for a lot of money? Any of them really? If I was getting that much money for slapping somebody, I'd probably slap anyone, except like my mom or something. I wouldn't do that. Um, is floppy disk ever gonna come back? Most likely not. She's dead. Do you hate Flask? No, I like Flask. Flask is one of my favorite characters, and she's always been one of my favorite characters. I liked working on Flask. She was very fun to voice as well because it's not that hard of a thing. Because I pitch up my own voice and then pitch it up in editing, so a lot of the characters just sound like a modified form of this, but not a lot of them. Um, Blueberry is gonna kill Outlet, and meanwhile in the first episode, Outlet killed Blueberry like I don't know how many times. Yeah, I just wish I had done more with Blueberry maybe, but I never could come up with anything for him. So maybe someone else can work that into something. Who knows? Hardest and easiest to voice. Piston took a lot of time to get the voice right. Like if you hear Piston's voice at the start, um, it her voice took a while to get right, and there was also a time where voicing Piston was a little bit difficult because my voice was like not in good condition. But because she's like the most, her voice is the most I have to change my voice. I could try doing that now, um, but it probably sound really bad. And the easiest to voice are probably Hourglass is the easiest because Hourglass for the most part is just my regular speaking voice, but a little bit with a little bit of a different like way of speaking. So Hourglass talks mostly like this, like welcome all to Trials of 12. It's a very specific way of talking, but that's different from my normal like my way of talking. Um, when did Voice Recorder die? Yeah, he's not dead. He's still alive. If the show was a contestant vote, who would you make the winner of the show? Ooh, that I mean, let's see. Uh, I'm not sure. That the process of picking who wins is definitely like a long one because it took me a long time to really go for just the winner of this season because I wasn't really rooting for anyone in particular or wanting someone to win. There were some people that I expected to get far or expected to be eliminated early. But then some of those expectations weren't really there. 2TV feels right as the winner. Sort of. I think that's part of the reason why he won because it's kind of like I feel like it just makes sense. It kind of makes sense. Where was I? Oh yeah, Blueberry is quitting. I don't know. I might put him back in season 2 if I figure something out. When did you choose to have a specific face for Piston? You mean like the three mouth that I did? I started doing that as early as like episode 2 or so, but yeah, I started doing that a while back because I figured it would just work for her. Who's your favorite Pokemon? Probably Sylveon. I like Sylveon a lot. I actually have a Sylveon plush on my desk. Sylveon's probably my favorite Pokemon. Imagine our. Alright everyone, welcome to Trials of 12. Today we're going to be doing the challenge. Favorite BFDI season? Oh yeah, I was asked that earlier. It was season 1. What's your opinion on Battle for Rice, Satomi's object show? I didn't know Satomi had an object show, so I haven't seen it. Oh yeah, that's the piston face. Yeah, that I mean, probably some of it came from the piston from not the piston, the face that like Pillow and Naily and Price Tag did. But I felt like that face would just fit for Piston. After episode 4, Trash Bin is in like every thumbnail. Is he? Like I didn't do that on purpose. It was just kind of like which characters based on the challenge would fit in the thumbnail. Let me see. He's in episode 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, and 13. I mean, it makes sense in 11, 12, and 13 because he was like one of the last ones. But not really that much like besides that. And then the first thumbnail he was in was actually episode 5. It took a while for him to be there. Alright. Will there be a season 2? Check the frequently asked questions. I have a theory that humanity used to rule the world and make the objects. Oh my god. Who are you rooting for in Teapot? I need to catch up. So as of right now, I don't have anyone. Is Tube TV supposed to have a British accent? Yeah. Tube TV is supposed to be British. As it's been established that he is from England. I don't know where in England because it's like the accent that I do for him isn't based off of any existing accents. It's just one that I've picked up over practicing over years. So honestly, the Brits in the chat will have to decide that for me. I don't know where Tube TV is from, like specifically. Who's your favorite contestants in Clash of Bread? Haven't watched that. Who are you rooting for in Trials of 12? Again, I wasn't rooting for anyone specific. Which team do you like the most? Eccentrics. London. Probably. London's like where most people are anyway. Oh, maybe I should just be funny and get like a guy from Birmingham to voice Tube TV. That'd be so funny. Also, isn't it weird that there are objects that are alive, but also there are stuffs with trees and stuff? I mean, like, I'm trying to think of another like movie or a game or something that has a similar concept to that. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like real life evolution. How like there's monkeys and humans, but like not the same thing. I guess it could kind of be like evolution. He just sounds British. Yeah, he's just probably just generically British. Why is the island named Nightmare Island? Well, it's not the island, it's the lake because I literally wanted to do what is the opposite of Dream Island, and I remember Flower said something like that in like BFDI 23, where she said the opposite of Dream Island was Nightmare Moon, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to something that I forgot, but the actual opposite would be Nightmare Lake because the opposite of an island would be a lake. So that's kind of where I went with. Will you ever do a face reveal or forever hide your identity? No, I'll do one eventually. Not for a while though. There are some people who know about my other channels, but I prefer for that to stay private for now. Eventually it will be public, but just not right now. How long did episode 1 take? Let's see how much I recorded of that because I did log a lot of things about the production. I don't think I started logging like production time until episode 2 though. Let's see. So actual time in seconds and like minutes, hours, that started in episode 3. Animation recording started with episode 2, but I do have the dates that I started working on episode 1. So I started working on the episode's production on November 29th of 2022, and I finished on December 28th, 2022. I just had plenty of time to do that, so that's the best I can give you for how long did episode 1 take. If Trials of 12 didn't use the BFDI style, what would it look like? I'm not sure. I don't know. I might have, if I had developed more of the BFB teapot style, I probably would have done it like that. Am I high for what I say earlier? I don't know. What's your favorite food? Hard to decide. There's a lot of great foods out there. What's your favorite TV show? Ooh, I don't watch TV shows that often, but my last favorite one, I actually used to reference in the early episodes. It was Manifest. I kind of haven't looked a lot about that show because it ended, I think last year or earlier in 2023. Yeah, it ended in like April of last year. So that's kind of the last time I stopped talking about like Manifest because I mean it's good in my opinion, but it's pretty long and it's kind of that was just my most recent favorite show. Will you actually make a season 2? Potentially, but not guaranteed. Which pre-merge contestant did you think deserved to make the merge? I don't know. I a lot of my thinking of who's gonna make it far was just I think these characters might make it and these won't, but there was definitely none that I wanted for sure to make it. Yeah, here we go. Do you use Google Drive or OneDrive? I hate OneDrive with a passion. It sucks, and I don't like Microsoft. But I use Google Drive mainly, but I do not like Microsoft. Favorite TDI season? I've only watched season 1. I've only watched the original from 2007. That's really it. Can you search Total Paper Island? There's a BFDI winner. Sure. Oh, that's like, wow, this is full of copyrighted characters. Okay. Let's see. What's your favorite character in Teapot? I haven't finished watching it. Is SpongeBob an object show because he's a sponge? Not really. It's the style of an object show, really. Show it to us. I don't. Why? I don't know why you want me to do that. What do you think of the Boris gets ground? I don't like go animate videos. Like that's. I think it's a very childish thing. Like, for me, I don't care if other people like it at whatever age there are, but that I prefer to stay away from. Someone actually asked me that recently on one of my other channels. Somebody asked me to make grounded videos, and I just I couldn't do. I just laughed. It was humorous. Um, how do you feel about Tutti winning over Outlet? Um, Honestly, just impressed that he even made it to the final episode. Um, so because I expected Tube TV to get out way earlier, I was surprised how many people actually liked him. um, why does Hourglass hate that principle? Ooh, I've not revealed enough about that to say anything. Um, I've given a little bit of hints, um, but not enough. What's your favorite color? I like all colors, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick lavender or purple of some sorts. I like purple, but I like all colors in general. Like I don't discriminate against colors. Piston's not dead, and the concept of heaven or hell doesn't really exist in this universe. There's no concept of that. Why does Albert Glass not have? Oh, Hourglass. um, I think that's just an oversight with the design that I made back then, or either just for simplicity, or that it looks better, or I just forgot. I can't exactly remember. I'd have to look through his original design to see if I even planned for that. My voice is funny. I am starting to get a little bit sick again, so maybe that's why. All right, I think my voice sounds a bit better. All object shows are real. Whoa, that's wild. It's like those old like claymation animations. Well, let's start with the funeral for floppy disk. That I don't I don't know. I didn't think about that, and probably not. Um, and anyway, funerals are usually done within like a week of a person dying. So it I guess if they did do a funeral, it probably would have already happened. Like within a few days of episode 13 coming out, because that's when they actually found out. But we'll see. It would be funny if you had sending him, so whenever he starts the timer, he would be the timer. I Oh, Hourglass. We're talking about Hourglass. Yeah, I was gonna think about that, but I figured it would be a bit. I can't remember. Can't. What's your favorite sacra stuff show? I don't know what that is. What is sacra stuff? Sacra stuff. Oh, it's an object show thing. Yeah, I'm not as involved in the community as other object show creators are. Um, I have cameras on. You're breathing. You're on the device. You're reading this out loud. Okay. I think now this constitutes as a frequently asked question. So I'm gonna add it in. Let me- Okay. Yellow faces inside your wall. Oh no. Oh no. Come on, Leafy. We gotta play again. I don't remember the exact line. Okay. What keyboard do I have? I have like some stock keyboard that came with my PC. It's a CyberPower PC thing. So, I don't know the model number. Oh, it doesn't say it. It's just CyberPower PC. That's really it. Um, Let's see. I think I'm gonna give 5 more minutes on the stream, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So at 5:35 is when I'm gonna close this down. Let's see. Do you like pizza? Yeah, pizza's awesome. What's your favorite team in Teapot? I don't remember the teams. Is David human? Potentially. I don't know. Do you like Legos? I don't use like mess with them as much anymore as I used to. I did use them last year though, because I built something. I built a display case for my iPhone collection. But that's the last thing I did with Legos. Why did Toast turn into a jerk? She was always a jerk. Sort of, if you want to call her a jerk. Uh, there's of course always reason behind why someone's a jerk, but I have yet to go completely into that. Is Toast a boy or girl? She's a girl. Um, if every TOT character died, would you replace them? I mean, in universe, I maybe. What advice would you give to object show creators? I gave some earlier. I will say it again. Like, take care of yourself. Don't focus too much on the quantity. Quality for the most part. Keep quality in mind. If you have free time and like you have time to pump out an episode a week or an episode every few days, then go ahead. But that's really up to time. There's a lot better tips though that other creators can give, like Webs for Evs and Carrie Michael. They probably have a lot of tips throughout the years. I did get a little bit of tips from Carrie himself. Actually, let me see what he did say to me, because I used to be in contact with Carrie for a project that we were both working on. Um, let's see. Oh, where did it go? There it is. Um, okay, some tips were about audio editing. Um, okay, so from Carrie himself, this is coming directly from Carrie. He said, I would say start small and don't make super long episodes. That's how people get burned out. Just make silly short episodes, but try to add a memorable quirk to each new episode. I'd also say try to give each character a decent amount of screen time across the season, but it's okay to embellish one character or group of characters in one episode, kind of like a deep dive into their story. That's straight from the man himself. So, there you go. All right, moving on. How did you make an episode every month? Um, Stress. That's how. I just had a little bit of free time, so I worked on it like both in school and at home, and I challenged myself to make one every month, and I made it. Would you ever torture Toast for her actions? Absolutely not. I would never do that. That's like never the right thing to do. Um, what about Lemonade? Why'd she turn into a jerk? That's more lore that I can't talk about right now. I ship Outlet and Toast. What's wrong with me? I don't care. You can ship. The characters don't have preferences. Like, they don't really do that. I mean, at least the ones in the show. I never really thought about that. So, what people want to make up in their headcanons, I really don't mind. But in canon, they don't really do that. What if the BFDI characters actually exist in the Trials of 12 world? They don't. They're just animations, just like characters. Just like they're just animations like we see them. Um, Speaking of web stores, what's your opinion on shipping? Oh, I just I just talked about that. Yeah, I don't mind. Um, don't make it too weird. Like, but for the most part, like, I'm mostly chill about it. Um, will this be the last video you post? Absolutely not. I have videos planned out throughout the year, potentially into 2025 as well. But I'm gonna keep posting here. What if it started in 2012? I would have to be born at a different time period because I was 6 years old in 2012. So I would not have been able to start a show back then. Does your object show better with 64? That would be way too much for me. I don't think I could manage that. Did you ever think of reaching 1,000? I figured it would one day, like once it started gaining traction. And Social Blade has been telling me that I was going to be hitting 1,000 around New Year's anyway for the longest time. So I just trusted in that, and it pretty much came. How do you have motivation? I can't even make an episode without getting lazy and giving up. I've been struggling with motivation. That's why the episodes have been shorter than they can be, because I accounted writing episodes for my lack of motivation. Because if I had more, I definitely would have made longer episodes. but I probably would have burnt myself out like very fast. Do you love taking the plane? I don't travel on planes that often. Why does Toast and her sidekick hate lemonade? Who's Toast's sidekick? Who's Toast's sidekick? I know they don't exist, but what if? Maybe. You like drinking water? Water's great. You live. Stay hydrated, folks. Did you ever use Scratch? I played on it, but I never made it. I think I made one thing as a modification to something I liked, but that was about it. Why did Piston glitch? You'll see. What do you think is the best size for a cast? It depends on your abilities, I guess. I started small because I didn't want to burn myself out, but I guess if you have that drive to put more characters and you can keep track of that many characters, then I just say go for a larger cast. Like, I mean, Carrie and Michael were two people. They had 24 characters, and then you have BFDI with BFB with that huge cast. All right, the last question I'm gonna answer is from Mohammed Walid. Do you have a pet? Oh, okay. I answered that earlier. No, I don't. Now my last question I'm gonna answer is from Boring Animations. Who is the nicest character in TOT? I'd say probably Outlet is the nicest, or Flask, one of the two, just based on their actions on screen. And all right, that's gonna be the end of the Q&A stream. Thank you to all you guys that tuned in. I'm happy to have answered your questions, and let's go for the rest of Trials of 12, the channel for this year. So again, thank you for watching.